Hi, so today we're looking at the second generation Moto G from Motorola. So this is the second generation of the Moto G family, which is midway through the motor range. You can pick this up for about £120 SIM-free. So looking around the phone, you feel it's quite sturdy. Considering the size of the phone, so this is a 5-inch screen, it's actually not too heavy at all. That being said, it does feel solid. So here we've got the blue version of the phone. The phone actually came with about 3 different back covers, it's just the one we chose. So at the front you may notice there is dual front speakers. We'll talk about that later. You also have a 2 megapixel camera. The screen is a nice bright 5-inch display. And at the back you just have the rear camera LED flash. One slight criticism is these buttons at the side. Considering the size of the phone, I would have liked bigger buttons. That being said, these felt quite sturdy and it's comfortable to click. Overall, the phone is comfortable to hold in your hand as well. Everything else is pretty standard. You've got your 3.5mm jack at the top and micro USB port at the bottom. The back cover is removable, if I got the nails for this. But you'll notice the battery is mounted, you can't actually remove that without opening the phone. And here you've got your SIM card slot and the micro SD card slot up there. So the first thing you'll probably notice about this phone is a nice big 5-inch display. It's very bright and quite sharp. I'm a little concerned by the fact that it's 720p though. Considering the big size of the screen, I would have preferred it to be 1080p. But that being said, it's a budget phone, so you know, the prices need to be reasonable, so it's a decent trade-off. The low resolution on a big screen means the PPI is slightly low at 294 PPI. But I still felt like it's decently sharp. However, if you look closely you might notice it is a bit blurry. But that's nothing too big. So, the phone is powered by a quad-core Snapdragon 400 processor, clocked at 1.2 GHz. So that's quite snappy. You can navigate through everything fairly quickly without any problems. Everything opens up decently quickly. As you probably already noticed, it runs Android Lollipop. It actually comes with Android Lollipop and it's upgradable all the way to 5.1. So, this variant of the phone has both 4G and 8GB of onboard storage. But like I said, at the rear you've got an option to add a micro SD card. So the phone handles 2D games quite well with the quad-core processor. Got no problems there whatsoever. The phone, however, doesn't handle all 3D games the best, which is fair enough. Once again, it's a budget smartphone, so you can't assume it will handle complicated games very well. So here's just a demonstration of the game Turbo Dismount. As you can see, the game stutters a tiny bit. It's nothing too bad, but in certain games it can make it unplayable. So, like I said earlier, the phone contains 2 cameras. You have a 2 megapixel front camera and an 8 megapixel rear camera. Outdoor shots look quite good. They're very clear and all the colors seem very true. However, low light wasn't the best. This is quite similar to the first generation of the phone, which had similar problems. That being said, it is still a good camera. The battery on the 4G version of the phone, this one, is 2390 mAh, whereas the non-4G version is 2070 mAh. Both batteries are very decent, and if you think about it, the reason the 4G version of the phone needs more batteries because of the 4G functionality, so you probably won't notice much of a performance difference between the two. The battery is, however, pretty decent, and you can easily last a day without having to charge your phone in the middle of it. The two dual speakers at the front are not exactly the best. The quality wasn't very clear, but I still like the fact that the speakers are mounted on the front. That means, you know, if you're looking at a YouTube video or something like that, you don't have to worry about putting your phone down and mistakenly covering the speaker grills or anything like that. So I still think it's a welcome addition. The phone doesn't really contain any special features. It pretty much is a stock installation of Android, but personally I quite like this. As you can see, it comes with the standard Google Now launcher, and there's no bloatware or anything which you might find with firmware on other phones. The UI is very simple and it is pretty much stock, so I quite like that. Overall, there's nothing to complain about this phone. For the cheap price points, you get pretty much all the necessities. It's only the luxuries which this doesn't have, and that's fair enough. It has a cheap price of around £120. So, you know, things like NFC not being here or wireless charging doesn't really affect me too much. If I had to find a problem, then it would be the slightly low resolution screen and the underpowered processor. But in day-to-day usage, you're unlikely to notice either of them, unless you do intensive stuff like gaming. So overall, I really think this is a decent phone at a good price, and it definitely is a good step up from the first generation Motorola Moto G. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe.